Hey there, welcome to the home gym. Today we are going to be analysing an Olympic lift called the squat clean. Let's get started. In this video, I'm going to do three things. Number one, we're going to analyse the squat clean. What is required from a technique and a biomechanics perspective. Number two, we're going to break down a squat clean performed by an athlete. We're going to tell you what they have done right and what they could improve on. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce the software called Kinevere that I have been using, and we're going to give a full review of what it is that they offer. The squat clean can be broken down into four phases. Phase number one is called the first pull. Phase number two, the second pull. Phase number three is called the catch, and phase number four is called the stand. We're going to break this down further using some video analysis software. So here we see the squat clean, just in normal playback speed. But if we slow it down, here we see the first pull to the knees. Second pull nice and high. The catch where the elbows come through and he comes down. And then the stand where he extends and stands the way up. Step 1. As the lifter pushes down on the floor, an equal and opposite reaction propels the lifter in an upward direction. We see the upper thigh move around the knee with angular velocity. As the knee extends, we see the bar begin its upward linear movement. In step 2, we see the next step in a sequential movement pattern, as the momentum created by the knee extension is continued by the larger muscles at the hip. As the gluteus maximus contracts and the hip joint extends, we see the bar gain more acceleration as it is propelled further upwards. At step 3, the bar will reach a point where its positive linear acceleration will become 0, and it will begin to fall. Here the lifter moves their elbows around the axis of a bar in an angular motion. The bar will come to rest on the lifter's shoulders, and they will move down under the weight of the bar until they come to a stop at the bottom of their catch. In phase 4, or the stand, the lifter is contracting their quads and glutes and extending at both the knee and hip joint, which moves the bar straight up in a linear path until the lifter's body is totally straight or locked out. Alright, time to analyse this lift. Now we'll start with the positives, and the first positive is this starting position. So if we use the line tool here, we can demonstrate that the lifter has a nice straight back. They have also got straight arms and their weight is over the barbell. And their eyes are facing straight forward, which is an important cue to keep the straight back when lifting. And here, if we compare our lifter to a slightly less experienced lifter, we are able to see very clearly some of the points that I made earlier. In fact, if we have a look at the lifter on our left, we can see quite a poor starting position, very rounded back, eyes facing down, and the weight quite far forward over the axis of the bar. Also quite straight legs compared to our lifter on the right, which is demonstrating good starting technique. Alright, on to our second good point about this lift, and that is the bar path. Bar path is simply the path that the barbell takes on its way up in the lift. And this is very important and something that we look at because the ideal goal for the lifter is simply to lift the barbell high enough to get underneath it and successfully make the catch. That means that we want vertical movement with minimal horizontal movement. Any horizontal movement is wasted energy and the lift is not as efficient as it could be. So if we click here and we watch this video, I've used the line tool to draw a line, and we can see that the barbell follows that straight bar path very closely. We see only slight deviation at the top, which shows that this is a good, efficient lift. We can see here that the less experienced lifter has a less efficient bar path, so they are wasting some of their energy on horizontal bar movement instead of an efficient vertical bar path. So we see quite a lot of sideways movement from the lifter on our left, whereas our original athlete has quite a straight bar path. Alright, so overall, this is quite a good lift, and I don't have much to fault on it, but I do have one point where our lifter could improve. Here we have it. We see the early arm bend, which is a very common problem with the clean. And this is a problem because this is a sequential movement. We want to see extension at the knee, then full extension at the hips, before we really see those arms start to bend. The hip joint and that extension is where a lot of the power in this lift comes from. And so if the elbows bend early, it means that we lose some of the power and momentum which should have been created from that hip extension. Alright, let's summarise that lift. First of all, the lifter had great starting position. This is going to keep them safe and make sure that they are in a powerful starting place. Second of all, the lifter had a good bar path. This means that their technique is efficient and they are maximising the power in their lift. If there's one thing that our lifter could work on, it is just keeping those arms nice and straight so they maximise the hip extension, which is where all of the power comes from in the squat clean. Overall, I think it was a wonderful lift. Okay, so let's take a look at the Kinevere software that I have been using. This is the first screen you will see when you open up the program. It's very easy. Just on the left here we have a list of our video folders and the videos in them. So if I just double click a video, I can see it appear here in the main screen. And then if I want to compare two videos, I just have to go up into the top left here, and I can compare two, pick another video and just click and drag it over. Then I have the ability to find the point that I want. So we'll use the start of the lift just as the barbell leaves the floor. And I can actually lock the two videos together down here at the bottom. Press this play button and they will show the lift at exactly the same point. There are a lot of other useful tools which I have barely begun to scratch the surface of. We have things such as the line marker, which I have used quite a lot in this video for demonstrating things such as posture or bar path. So we can draw a line anywhere and then easily configure the line or delete the line. We also have the pencil tool, so we can draw anywhere we want on the video. We also have the ability to mark out angles here, so I can demonstrate the angle that this person's thigh is on compared to horizontal. Again, I can just configure or delete that within the video. I can use a stopwatch. I have a grid which I can lay out on the video, spotlight, magnifier. There are so many tools available here in the toolbar. I think it would take quite a long time to really get the most out of this program. So in summary, I absolutely love Kinevere. It is simple. It is packed full of features, and most importantly, it is free. I'm going to use it, I would recommend it to other people, and I think it could help anybody improve whatever it is that they do.